Welcome to Animals Today, your home for serious talk about animals. I'm Dr. Lori Kirshner. So next month, October 12th to the 20th, is Primate Liberation Week. And indeed, the debate surrounding testing on animals, and particularly monkeys, dogs, and cats, is one of the most contentious in all our dealings with animal rights and animal welfare. Is testing needed, effective, or just? Do you ever see reports showing protesters in front of university animal labs and wonder what's going on, and to what extent do I agree or disagree with the protesters? How much of the excellent medical care we now enjoy is from testing on other animals? Now, I would bet that many protesters are not fully versed in the history of vivisection or the various arguments on both sides, and there are scientists arguing for and against vivisection for sure. So we're happy to take this chance to explore some of these questions with Dr. Carol Glasser, who is a sociologist and animal rights advocate and serves as a research fellow at University of California, Irvine. She was the research director at the Humane Research Council and is on the editorial team of the Journal for Critical Animal Studies. Carol is co-founder of Progress for Science, a grassroots campaign focused on ending vivisection at the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA. Welcome, Dr. Glasser.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Carol, you recently published a study detailing animal welfare violations in the UC system titled A Pattern of Abuse, Animal Welfare Violations in University of California Laboratories, August 2010 to June 2013. Why did you choose to investigate this area?
We were finding in a lot of the work that we were doing that we were talking to people about what is happening inside of the University of California laboratories, and people were under the belief that these animals were protected by very strong laws and that these laws were strictly enforced and that they were followed by these universities. And we felt that it was important to investigate what was actually happening and to highlight that in many circumstances these animals are in fact being mistreated. Most people, even if they do agree with animal testing, don't want animals to be hurt in the process or to be treated poorly.
Yeah. So you looked at the entire University of California system. So can you tell us what your findings were?
Sure. We found that all schools except for one actively are engaging in animal research with animals that are covered under federal laws. And I'm sure later we'll talk about which animals are and are not covered under federal laws. Most of them have been cited for violating animal welfare. The worst offenders are the University of California in Los Angeles and the University of California, Davis, and UC Berkeley. So these are the schools that we would expect to have the highest standards of care because they're some of the most respected schools in this state, but they're actually the ones that are most frequently violating animal welfare.
Okay, and so specifically, what did you find?
We found a number of violations. The most shocking finding was that the one institute or the one group that's in every school that's supposed to protect animal welfare, it's conventionally called the IACAC, but that stands for Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee. And there's one of these established in every single university, and it has three members. One is the director of veterinary medicine, one is an outside member unaffiliated with the university, and the third member can be a variety of different people. This is the one group that's supposed to ensure that animal welfare protocols are met before any experiment happens, and the one group inside each university that's supposed to consistently check on the welfare of animals. And over half of the violations that occurred in this period of time that this report covers, 3-year period, was because this group did not follow the legal protocol for what they were supposed to do for animals. So this varied from simply not inspecting facilities to not checking up on the experiments as they were supposed to happen, to not reviewing changes in the protocols for how these animals would be housed, treated, or used in these experiments.
Okay, and so people new to this field may be surprised or shocked with the findings, but were you, or is this just about what you expected?
I was actually not shocked with the findings. This is about what I was expected. This report consists only of those violations that both the university and the federal government has accepted actually occurred. So this is actually not all of the violations. Any violation that's being contested by the university is not available for public review. And so there's more violations occurring than the ones that are listed in this report, unfortunately. So I expected that this would be what was happening inside of these labs through my experience working on this issue for a long time, and I expected a lot more abuse is actually happening than we were able to present in this report.
What reaction has come out of its publication?
The reactions that have come out of this publication have varied depending on whether people are already on the side of opposing animal research or not opposing animal research. People in the animal welfare and animal rights communities and people who are advocating on behalf of animals, many of them were shocked to learn that this is what is happening. And it has been very motivating for a lot of people, and a lot of people have contacted us asking, what can we do and how can we stop this? Outside of the animal welfare community, the reaction has not been as favorable as we'd hoped in terms of getting people interested in the issue. We actually talked with the Associated Press reporter who was very interested in the report but ended up deciding that because the things that were happening to these animals weren't gruesome enough and there weren't pictures attached to it, that it wasn't enough abuse to constitute running a news article on it. When I say that, let me highlight that some of these abuses are quite vile and violent. For example, one violation at UC Davis involved non-human primates, and it was, again, the IACAC didn't check in on the protocol of how things in an experiment changed, and 2 infant monkeys were being experimented on, and part of their research project promised that these monkeys wouldn't be held in isolation, and they would at least have the comfort of each other, and it was later found that for 4 months of their infancy, they remained in cages alone while they were being experimented on with no companionship.
Now, Carol, the group you co-founded, Progress for Science, is focused on UCLA specifically. Why? Why UCLA?
Well, everyone has to start somewhere, and because we are located in Los Angeles, and 2 of the 3 of us are actually UC alums, so we're very focused on UC schools. One of us is an alum of UCLA, and UCLA is in our community. And this is, a lot of people don't know, but this is actually a public issue because most of the research that's happening on these animals is funded by public and federal tax dollars. So we wanted to start somewhere, so we decided to start in our own backyard with school that was associated with our own education and with a school that was associated with the city in which we live.
And just so you know, it was my backyard, too. I was an alum of UCLA as well, so I am an alum of UCLA. What are your activities regarding UCLA? How do you operate specifically?
We try to tackle this problem from all angles. We try to keep a very vast and open toolbox. We don't know exactly what will work and exactly what will stop this. So we try to educate the public, and we do that through a lot of outreach events. We try to hold the professors and the university accountable, and we do this in a variety of ways. We do it through letter-writing campaigns, call-ins, petitions, protests, and public demonstrations in public spaces. And we're also working behind the scenes to do a lot of research on what's actually happening so that scientists, the public, students, and alumni can learn about what's happening so that other people can be empowered to use their voices to stand up against this.
And in the last minute before the hard break, Carol, how does your recent paper relate to your views on testing on animals in general? So if all the labs you cited 100% clean up their acts, and there were no more violations of the Animal Welfare Act or any other requirements for dogs, cats, rabbits, and primates, would that be a good result?
I think that will be a good result to start. For me personally, and I think for people that really look at this issue, I don't think that there's any need for animal testing for a number of reasons. I don't think it's scientifically valid, but most important, I don't think it's ethical. I think that as a society, we need to behave in an ethical manner that reflects our values as people, and I don't think that animal testing does that. Our country has relied on a number of abuses throughout history. We relied on slavery for our economy for hundreds of years, but that didn't make it right. And I think that in the case of animal testing, there's no ethical justification for it.
Very good. Don't go away. More with Carol Glasser. She's with the group Progress for Science. You're listening to Animals Today. Hi, this is Dr. Lori Kirshner, and I want to thank you for listening to Animals Today. Make sure to visit us on animalstodayradio.com, where you will see all our previous shows, and you can download them free. That's animalstodayradio.com. Also, make sure to become a friend on Facebook. Animals Today gets a lot of its support from the nonprofit group Advancing the Interests of Animals. Check them out at aianimals.org. And I hope you'll consider making a donation to help pay for the ongoing broadcast of Animals Today. Each week on Animals Today, we strive to bring you the highest quality, most up-to-date information about all animal welfare topics, and we certainly would appreciate your support. That website again is aianimals.org. And thanks for listening.
As temperatures climb, please remember to never leave your dog in the car, not even for a minute on a warm day with the windows cracked and in the shade. The temperature inside a car can climb up in a matter of minutes, and it's enough to kill your pet. If you love your pet, leave them at home or with someone you trust. Keep them cool, comfortable, and alive. And if you see a dog or other pet in a car, you may only have a moment to save their life. Here are a couple of steps that you should remember. Make an announcement in the store or business the car is parked nearest to, and call the police department or animal control right away. Remember, it only takes a minute or two on a hot day to kill an animal left inside a car. Your swift action can save a life. Dogs are unable to cool themselves the way people can. Never leave your dog in the car, not even for a minute.
This message is sponsored by Advancing the Interests of Animals. You can check them out at aianimals.org. That's the letter A, animals.org.
Life is a wild ride, but even that couldn't prepare you for this. You're on your 9th wild ride, the Carnival Twist and Whirl, your granddaughter's wishes trumping your amusement park fears. And it's here, healthy enough to feel the joy over the terror that the question hits you. How did I get here? Was it just hard work or smart choices? Like choosing Rite Aid and exclusive benefits for seniors with Rite Aid's new Wellness 65 Plus program. You get free pharmacist consultations that include medication reviews, blood pressure screenings, and immunization checklists. Wellness 65 Plus also gives you points for every prescription, even Medicare, that earn you up to 20% off your Rite Aid purchases fast. All meant to keep you here. Now that you've actually gotten here. Here, being the best and bravest grandma in the whole wide world. Stop by and enroll free in Wellness 65 Plus at Rite Aid today. With us, it's personal. Certain limitations apply. See your Rite Aid store or riteaid.com for details.
A classic pair that impresses at a moment's notice. Behold, tomato and basil sauce.
By Bertolli.
A vegetable so bold, an herb so...
Basil-y.
Bertolli tomato and basil. The sauce that brings the sauce.
Get ready, spaghetti.
Groceries, essentials, signature value.
The Everyday Collection by Target.
My company designed that sound for a horror film, but I like to play it when I did accounting, invoicing, or scary admin stuff. But now, using Sage 1, I played this sound.
Sage 1 is the simple online app that makes accounting easy, so you can get back to what you love faster. Go from to time is money. Be stingy with it. Visit BeStingy.com now for a free month of Sage 1.
Welcome back to the show. We're speaking to Carol Glasser. She's co-founder of Progress for Science, which is a grassroots campaign focused on ending vivisection at the University of California, Los Angeles. Carol, earlier you mentioned you think testing on animals is unethical, and we here at Animals Today totally agree. But putting that aside, do you feel we've learned nothing useful to the welfare of humans by performing research on primates, disregarding the ethical concerns?
Disregarding the ethical concerns, I am not going to say that nothing has ever been learned using non-human animals in order to investigate human ailments. However, I don't believe that it was necessary to use these methods in order to obtain some of the results. The scientific community is coming out in force now, showing studies and presenting findings of many instances in which human health has been damaged and advances in scientific progress have been stalled because of a reliance on animal testing.
And how about research on non-primate subjects? I was referring there to primate subjects. How about on non-primate subjects in terms of efficacy? Do you oppose that as well?
I certainly do oppose it, and Progress for Science does as well. While our campaign is focused first on ending research against non-human primates, we're opposed to research on any animals. A number of studies have come out recently, specifically looking at the mouse. If we find that experiments on non-human primates, our closest cousins, are not in fact effective, then it makes very little sense to think that extrapolating things out further to animals that have less in common with us, such as mice, rats, guinea pigs, cats, and dogs, would have much of an effect. For example, a lot of studies that test things like heart disease are tested on dogs, but dogs' hearts simply don't build up plaque the way human hearts do, so they remain ineffective.
So, Carol, do you disagree with the methods of studying disease using genetically modified mice in which genes are shut off or deleted or inserted into animals? After all, in 2007, a Nobel Prize was given in medicine to these developers of these techniques.
I do disagree with it, not just on an ethical level, but also on a pragmatic and a scientific level. I am sure that the person who won the Nobel Prize was awarded it for a lifetime of good work, for other things that didn't involve animal testing, and to the degree that they won the award for this, I'm sure it's just because it was novel. Using genetically modified mice is a problem because humans don't contract diseases in a sterile environment in a laboratory. Humans contract diseases in a variety of ways that has to do with a combination of their own genetic makeup in which genes are not turned on and off, and their lived environment, which includes everything from stress to the physical things surrounding them, such as pollution, the foods they eat. So trying to extrapolate from a species that's very far from humans that has a genetic makeup that's already very different, and then further changing these animals so that certain genes do and don't exist is a model very far from what is happening in humans when they develop diseases, when there's alternatives that are much closer to what's happening with humans when they develop diseases. And many of these alternatives actually rely on human cells. So there's in vitro methods, meaning in test tubes, and these models often use human cells in tissue cultures. There is stem cell research and genetic testing. There's non-invasive imaging techniques such as MRIs and CAT scans that people who are suffering from these ailments are willing to undergo in order to help medical progress. And there's also the very effective epidemiological and clinical studies, which can take life history and medical histories of large numbers of people who have a variety of factors, and they can look at things that contribute to disease outside of simple genes, things like the environment, family, food, and genetic history in combination with each other.
Carol, aren't we at a time where government funding demands research be based on animal models? As a medical and biological scientist, isn't it hard to make a career if you don't employ animals in your research?
There's three main uses of animals for research. One is education, so this is stuff like dissection and medical testing. And animal research is never required in this type of animal research. In fact, most medical schools, about 97% of medical schools in this country, don't use live animal models. So if our medical community isn't needing live animal models to train and study, it's certainly not necessary in the education process. Another way that it's used is product testing. And for product testing, some of this is, in fact, required by the Food and Drug Administration. But the majority of what's happening with product testing is not required by the federal government. Most of it is large corporations testing products such as mouthwash, cleaners, other beauty products. The reason that they engage in this testing, even though it's not necessary, is to cover themselves in case of a lawsuit. They would like to say, if there is a lawsuit, hey, you can't sue me. We tried to make sure it was safe. We tested it in X number of animals. In regard to product testing that is required by the Food and Drug Administration, there are people even within the government that is trying to put an end to this practice. This is drugs that hit the market for human consumption. Of those drugs that pass the animal trials, sometimes 2 different species of animal trials are required by the federal government. Of those that actually work in non-human animals, 97%, and this is the number from the Food and Drug Administration, 97% will go on to fail in humans, showing that this is a very ineffective way to trust whether or not these drugs are effective. And many people, even within the government and within the scientific community, are urging the federal government to change their policies so that a lot of this testing can be done in more effective ways. And governments around the world are falling behind on trying to stop unnecessary testing. For example, the European Union has completely banned cosmetic testing on any animals. And the Italian Parliament has passed a resolution banning most experiments on non-human primates.
Carol, opposition to experiments on dogs, cats, and monkeys has an emotional element that testing on rodents lacks. Do you see much public groundswell for providing greater protection for rodents in medical research?
What is unfortunate is that there aren't a lot of people arguing to protect rodents. Most people, however, believe that there are already laws in place to protect rodents and other animals that are similar to rodents that are used frequently in tests, when in fact there are no laws to protect them. There's only one federal law that protects any animals that are used in experiments, and this law is very clear on what it considers an animal. It actually defines animals, and in its definition it states that the term animal excludes birds, rats, and mice bred for research, horses not used for research purposes, and other farm animals such as livestock or poultry. So most people believe that all animals used for research have some government protection and have to be somewhat respected, but there is not a single law to protect birds, rats, or mice that are used in laboratories.
Very good. Carol Glasser, thank you so much for your expertise. Can you tell us how we can learn more about these issues related to vivisection, or for those listeners listening, if they oppose testing on animals, what they can do to help you out here?
Yes, of course. We have a website, www.progressforscience.com. That's all spelled out. And if people are interested in taking action, we have a petition asking that the UC Regents immediately stop using monkeys at UC schools and experiments. And if people want to sign that petition, they can go to progressforscience.com/freethemonkeys. That's one word, free the monkeys.
Carol Glasser, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Is texting getting way out of hand? You know, I can't... Hold, please. Oh, that is funny. Where was I? Oh, yes, about texting. Pardon me. LOL, you are my BFF. So, like I was saying...
Switch to Geico now and you could save hundreds on your car insurance. For a free rate quote, visit geico.com to see how much you could save. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
GAF, North America's largest roofing manufacturer. Buy a pallet or more of in-stock Timberline or Royal Sovereign shingles and get 15% off the everyday shelf price. Just visit your local Home Depot between September 5th and September 15th and save 15% on GAF Advanced Protection shingles, the preferred brand of professional contractors. GAF and the Home Depot, the best choice for roof systems and accessories.
Look, kid, on this job you can use any wrenches you want, but I use Westward wrenches. Ratcheting reversibles, spline drives, flex wrenches, quality stuff. Man's choice of wrench is a personal thing. I am not going to tell you what wrenches to use, but use Westward. All Westward wrench sets are 25% off at Grainger this month. Get it? Got it? Good. Call clickgrainger.com/Westward promo or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. Promo ends September 30th, 2013. Visit grainger.com/Westward promo for details.
At GMC, our customers know our service is as professional grade as the trucks we sell. And now GMC is very proud to announce that we've just received the J.D. Power & Associates Award for highest in customer satisfaction with dealer service among mass market brands. Perhaps that's because no one knows GMC vehicles like the GMC certified service experts. From their hours of GMC training to their specialized tools and equipment, it's professional grade service for your professional grade truck. GMC certified service at your local GMC dealer. There's never been a better time to try it than now. For a limited time, get a $100 mail-in rebate debit card on a set of 4 select brand name tires and a 30-day price match guarantee. See participating dealer for eligible tire brands and details. Allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery of debit card. Offer ends 9/30/13. Add written estimate or internet quote for identical tires from competing tire retailer or installer located within 50 miles of the dealer. Required during guarantee period for price match. For J.D. Power & Associates Award information, visit jdpower.com.
If you're a responsible homeowner who's faithfully made your mortgage payments, you deserve thanks for doing the right thing. And I'd like to tell you about a powerful financial tool that rewards your responsibility. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans, and the tool that I'm talking about is the Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. HARP is designed to help you lower your mortgage payments. It's for responsible homeowners who are current on their payments, but due to the housing market may have little or no equity left in their home. And even if you were unable to get a HARP loan in the past, new guidelines mean that now you may be eligible. Over 2.5 million homeowners have already taken advantage of HARP and are saving an average of $250 a month. If you're one of the millions yet to take advantage, call us today at 800-QUICKEN. To learn more, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That number again is 800-QUICKEN.
Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
I just can't handle the scene anymore. I wish I could find someone who's compatible with me and my values.
Come now. Keep the flame of hope burning. All you need is a visit to Geico.com, the one website devoted to ease, savings, and the long-lost art of chivalry. We'll take you by the hand and escort you through a free rate quote, shower you with policy managing and bill paying tools, throw our coats down in mud puddles to protect your shoes, unless you think that'd be weird. Is that weird? For a free rate quote, visit Geico.com.
Where's this one going?
I think Texas.
You know, I heard Saudi Arabia's next.
As demand grows for reliable, more efficient energy, Siemens is building advanced natural gas-powered turbines in North Carolina for use around the country and the world.
It's kind of cool. Everyone wants our turbines.
They keep ordering, I'll keep building.
Somewhere in America, answers for cleaner energy are happening right now. Siemens. Answers. Visit Siemens.com/answers.
So, Peter, I'm having a discussion with one of my patients who's considering cataract surgery. And as you know, cataract surgery is performed in order to allow the patient to see better, to improve their lifestyle. So I always ask patients, why do you want me to take out your cataracts? Why do you want surgery? And so we can get the reason and document in the chart. Some people say, well, I don't feel safe driving. I want to see the golf ball better. I'm having trouble reading. I'm having trouble doing whatever, playing the piano, right? So having a discussion with Mr. Jones. Why do you want cataract surgery, Mr. Jones? Well, I'm having difficulty with my hunting. Okay, so automatically I'm saying, don't talk about this, hunting. So what specifically? I can't shoot my target, i.e. animal, right?
Yeah.
And so here I'm just, I have to document in the chart. So what do I do? Give me another reason. I feel like I'm aiding and abetting a murderer by this is the reason I'm helping you see better so you can kill your animals better. So
that's a hard dilemma.
It is.
And
I try to negotiate with them.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, I try to make a deal. Listen, if I operate, you see better, would you consider not hunting? Well, that didn't take well. Would you consider shooting discs? Nah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Well, why do you, then he tries to go into these reasons why I should not be opposed to hunting. Well, it does control the population of species, or I eat whatever I kill, or all those.
I know it does. It does sort of it does break down into a sort of defense or a series of arguments that are almost predictable.
And so, what do you think the real reason people hunt?
Oh, what's real? Let's see. Well, we hear a lot of things, but my view, and not
they don't go out
not having done this.
Okay, they don't go out to help control the population of animals, right? They don't go out and because they love being in nature. I mean, is that a real reason?
Well, let's talk about that nature thing. You hear that all the time.
Okay.
And the retailers and the online vendors. I mean, they are. Well, you are in the woods.
Okay.
Or unless you're accidentally in someone's backyard, but you're in the woods, and there is this term outdoorsman or outdoors person that is attached to or been made equivalent to, right, hunting.
Or sportsman. Right.
So that is a whole misuse of the English language,
Absolutely.
if you ask me.
Well, let me.
But why do they really do it?
Okay, well, let me tell you what I found.
You found something.
I found something, a survey. In Noga.com, there's a recent survey, well, semi-recent, by huntersurvey.com. And they quantified the reasons that American sportsmen like to hunt, okay? And let me tell you the reasons. So this was based on the question, why do you like to hunt? And this is from huntersurvey.com. 92% said they like to spend time outdoors.
Yes.
87% said they enjoy seeing wildlife.
That's so funny.
Like seeing wildlife and then ending their lives of wildlife. 87% enjoy the peace and quiet of the outdoors until the gun gets shot off.
Oh, yes.
80% enjoy the challenge. Okay, that I can sort of understand. 74% like to spend time with family and friends who hunt. 9% fell in this other category of other. 9%. So this guy in this Noga.com website wrote this article, and he states that he is convinced, he specifies this survey, and is convinced that a key reason many or most hunters hunt is they like to kill stuff.
Really?
Yes, and he thinks that's what this other category is, but people just don't want to say it. So he says, okay, there I say it. People like to kill themselves. I do get enjoyment and satisfaction when I cleanly and ethically take the life of the wild animal I'm pursuing. Yes, I greatly enjoy all the other stuff listed above, but I wouldn't be doing any of it if it didn't come along with the opportunity to kill stuff. Often I fail and return home empty-handed, and I still enjoy myself, but I'm only driven to return back on the hope that the next time I will get to pull the trigger or release the string.
Yeah.
They get enjoyment out of this thrill of killing things. You really think people go out there because they want to spend time with their family and they want the peace and quiet?
Yes, you could easily go for a walk in the woods.
Right.
Or whatever,
exactly.
Outdoors. Being outdoors, you go in your backyard, you're outdoors.
Right.
Okay, so you are agreeing with this writer.
Right. That
I don't know his real orientation where he's coming from, but regardless, the notion is that the actual killing part is gratifying, exciting, and pleasurable for the hunters, and all the other stuff sort of ancillary.
Right, and I think people are just sort of scared to say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found something else in American Hunter website.
Yes.
And that is 6 reasons everyone should hunt.
Oh, yeah. That's
6 reasons everyone should hunt. Ready for this?
Go ahead.
It's safe. That's the number 1 reason.
Yeah.
It's safe.
You know,
according to data recently collected by the National Shooting Sports Foundation, hunting with a gun is the 3rd safest sport when compared to 28 other popular sports and has a lower injury rate than golf, volleyball, and tackle football.
Yeah, a lot of killings in the golf course. You know, accidental death. I mean, maybe heart attack.
Right.
But, you know, we peruse all these news items that come out there, and there are people of all ages dying all the time related to hunting. They fall out of tree stands. They shoot each other.
They shoot their kid accidentally.
The kid accidentally kills himself or somebody else. Someone standing in their own backyard gets shot.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah. So a lower injury rate than golf and volleyball. Okay, so tendonitis with golf, a broken finger with volleyball, but you're not going to end your life.
Face blown off.
Right. Number 2 reason. It's healthy.
It's healthy. Oh.
Not only is venison free of man-made intervention, but obtaining it through hunting can be good exercise for the body and the mind. Hunting isn't just about the kill. In a field, it helps us get acquainted with the sights and sounds of the outdoors. It also helps us step off the grid and escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life, which can be a refreshing change of pace for many.
Okay,
right?
I
so
don't
it's
know
hunting.
What to say.
It's healthy. So healthy.
Yeah.
Right? You don't do it to learn, compassion and empathy. That's doesn't.
Go ahead.
I
can't stand it.
Okay. Oh, then I'll go. Okay. Yes.
Go to number
3
3.
reason.
Yeah.
It helps the planet.
Helps the planet.
That's
okay.
why everyone should hunt. It helps the planet. They talk about how many millions of dollars per day come from sportsmen that go towards conservation. Right.
Yeah, that's pretty convoluted too.
Yeah.
And
you want to hear number 4?
Go ahead.
Okay. It's good for the species.
Yes.
It's good for the species. Habitat loss has eroded the natural range of animals while agriculture's increased food supplies. The result is game populations that must be managed.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're helping a lot with the species. Number 5, it saves money and helps the economy. Okay, I won't read the silly reason that they give under that.
Saves money.
Yeah. According to the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies, hunting is responsible for 600,000 U.S. jobs, $66 billion in economic activity, and $10 billion in state and federal tax revenue.
None of that would happen in any way if not for hunting. I mean,
right.
So that's the only way that benefit is derived, which is pretty crazy.
And the last reason, the
Go ahead.
6th reason,
all right.
why 6 reasons everyone should hunt. So let me just recap.
Everyone.
It's safe. It's healthy. It helps the planet. It's good for the species.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, killing them is good for them. It saves money and helps the economy.
Yes.
Number 6. You want to take a guess?
Let's see. Go ahead.
It's good for your family.
Good for your family.
It's good for your family.
Oh.
That's why you should hunt. There are few better ways to spend quality time with your kids than to take them away from a computer, TV, and show them where their food comes from.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Why don't you take your kid
miniature
to
golfing.
a factory farm and show
That's
them really
good.
where your food
That's
comes
good.
from and how they treat those steer,
right?
And hang them upside down and slice them apart. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice field trip.
No,
Then you really see where your food comes from.
Right, exactly.
So,
but this is taking them hunting better than going to a museum, better than playing catch, better than going miniature golfing.
Better than
take them hunting, show them what it's like to kill a living creature. Just minding its own
Got to know where your
business.
food comes from.
Got to know where your food comes from. In this day and age, you got to know where your food comes from. Right. Don't take them to a factory farm. Okay. Thank you, Peter. You have news for us?
I have news for you. Once I get over the shock of what you just told me
Okay.
here, I guess you could write about anything.
I know.
I'm going to write an article about the top reasons why Peter Spiegel is the best radio show host in the universe. I have about 30,000 reasons right now.
Okay, we're going to
Coming up next.
Cut you off right now.
This
This is Dr. Lori Kirshner, and I want to thank you for joining us on Animals Today. Each week we explore the wide variety of important issues concerning the welfare of animals, how people treat them, and where they fit in our society. From whale protectors on the open seas to lawyers in court to scouts helping their local shelter. Join me to get the latest on animal welfare news, stories, and events from around the world. And visit us on Facebook to join the conversation. That's Animals Today every week right here on the station, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, make sure to visit us at animalstodayradio.com, where you can listen to any of our previous shows free. Animals Today brings you the highest quality, most up-to-date information about all animal welfare topics. Much of our support comes from the nonprofit group Advancing the Interests of Animals. Check them out at aianimals.org. That's aianimals.org. And thanks for listening.
That's the sound of a dog whose vocal cords were cut just to stifle her voice. It's called devocalization, and it's done to cats as well. Devocalized animals rasp and wheeze, cough and gag the rest of their lives. Some are rendered mute. And for what? So a commercial or hobby breeder can keep many animals without having to listen to them. So show dogs will be quiet in transit between shows or in the ring. So an irresponsible pet owner can leave a dog alone for hours every day. Animals Today joins with Coalition to Protect and Rescue Pets in saying shame on anyone who would have a dog or cat devocalized, and shame on the vets who perform this inhumane, unnecessary surgery for them. Please speak out against devocalization of dogs and cats. Use your voice. Protect theirs.
This message is sponsored by Advancing the Interests of Animals. You can check them out at aianimals.org.
It gives you more by being less. Nothing fully satisfies like Coke Zero.
The can that can.
Indulgent, yet guiltless. Full of flavor, yet free of calories.
The unicorn of colas.
Zero, as in how many are left at the end of a party.
Coke Zero. It's all and nothing.
Groceries, essentials, signature value.
The Everyday Collection by Target.
My company designed that sound for a horror film, but I like to play it when I did accounting, invoicing, or scary admin stuff. But now, using Sage 1, I played this sound.
Sage 1 is the simple online app that makes accounting easy, so you can get back to what you love faster. Go from to... Time is money. Be stingy with it. Visit BeStingy.com now for a free month of Sage 1.
Geico presents a man who just saved on his motorcycle insurance.
Name's Mark, and this here beastly hog is Princess. Easy, Princess. Slow your roll. So how does this chopper cowboy save on motorcycle insurance, you ask? Easy. I just strapped on my savings chaps called Geico and bam. I'm saving so much, my Princess, well, she gets treated like a queen.
Geico Motorcycle. See how much you could save.
At the end of the day, some companies are up and some are down. The winners are likely increasing revenues, meeting profit targets, improving customer satisfaction. And there's a good chance they're using Kronos cloud technology to help transform their workforce by controlling labor costs, minimizing compliance risk, and improving workforce productivity. Whether you're a Fortune 500 or small to mid-sized business, find out more about the Kronos cloud at kronos.com. Kronos, workforce innovation that works.
At GMC, our customers know our service is as professional grade as the trucks we sell. And now GMC is very proud to announce that we've just received the J.D. Power & Associates Award for highest in customer satisfaction with dealer service among mass market brands. Perhaps that's because no one knows GMC vehicles like the GMC Certified Service Experts. From their hours of GMC training to their specialized tools and equipment, it's professional grade service for your professional grade truck. GMC Certified Service at your local GMC dealer. There's never been a better time to try it than now. For a limited time, get a $100 mail-in rebate debit card on a set of 4 select brand name tires and a 30-day price match guarantee. See participating dealer for eligible tire brands and details. Allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery of debit card. Offer ends 9/30/13. Add written estimate or internet quote for identical tires from competing tire retailer or installer located within 50 miles of the dealer, required during guaranteed period for price match. For J.D. Power and Associates award information, visit jdpower.com.
Peter, what do you have for us in the news
Lori,
these days?
Okay, so out of Connecticut, Senator Blumenthal, he's pushing for support for a bill that he proposed to make attendance at organized animal fights a federal crime.
Okay.
That's a little surprising that Blumenthal is interested in this at all. I wasn't aware that he had any interest in this, but he's getting into it and claims that the spectators are the financial fuel that makes them possible. That is the dog fights and the cockfights, which we know.
Yeah, we should bring him on the show if we can.
Yeah, let's bring him on the show.
I think that'd be great. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. John,
That's
thank you.
awesome.
John's going to call him.
All right, John. There's a interesting item to follow up your earlier interview, and that is there is a new grant to provide money for a fellowship that is going to fund a postdoctoral position for a year to study methods to do medical research not involving animals.
Oh, great.
And, I saw this and I'm like, this is great, because I'm like, if I had a little pot of money, this would be, and you wanted to sprinkle it around in the animal welfare world, this would be pretty cool to set up some scholarships or some early development research jobs or something like that. And this one specifically comes out of the New England Anti-Vivisection Society. We've spoken to them, and also in partnership with the American Fund for Alternatives to Animal Research, and they teamed up and they have $40,000 in postdoctoral money available. And it's interesting, they are going to award it to a woman to develop, use, or validate non-animal alternatives to advance women's health and or understanding of gender-based differences in research results.
Good. Okay.
So, first, is that legal?
Yeah, I don't know.
They are working to advance methods that are more efficient, efficacious, and predictive of human responses than outdated and cruel animal experiments and testing. So that is going to be very fascinating. We'll see who gets it and what they're going to do. But they're trying to focus on women's health and gender differences, because a lot of the medications, they're base their research, their results of the medication research on men, and then you give it to women, and it doesn't necessarily apply. And they're going to try to figure out non-animal ways to determine that.
Is that true? The research is mainly based on men?
Much of it, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. And it's interesting, in this, the element of this not a scholarship, in this grant, is they really want to push getting women into the field. They have determined that scientific research is underrepresented by women, and that we need more women in the business to pursue lines of research that don't involve animals. So they are specifically targeting women. That's obviously part of their deal here.
Okay.
So we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see. We'll see who gets it and what they do with it.
Right.
Very interesting. So I wanted to also tell you that in Michigan, the Michigan Senate has voted to end the gassing of animals as a form of euthanasia.
Oh.
We've crossed this bridge before
right.
in Pennsylvania and other states, and it's very cruel.
Horrible.
To suffocate the animals, unwanted animals that are going to be euthanized.
By gassing them.
By gassing them in the most horrific ways imaginable. It must be terrifying.
terrifying, painful, and then don't they just put them all in one room? And
it's not like it's a pretty thing.
They actually see each other dying. They see their cellmates dying and suffocating, and it takes a while to end their life. It's a horrible way. So, Peter, do you know how many states still uses this method?
No, I don't know how many states but it's a shame that it's just trickling one by one. But there's another state that finally is coming to their senses.
Yeah.
Hopefully all the other states will comply. I'll find out.
Okay.
Who else is left on that?
Okay, thank you.
We should. There's an inmate in Connecticut. He's reached out to PETA because he claims to be Buddhist and they're feeding him fish and he doesn't want to eat fish. So PETA, of course, wants to get involved, and they've got a statement from their lawyer named Jeff Kerr saying, clearly fish is meat. They have thoughts, they have interests, they have a central nervous system, they are not swimming vegetables. He is trying to work on behalf of this inmate to get a vegetarian diet in prison. So I wonder, so he's Buddhist, that's his rationale, that's his reason.
Okay.
So I wonder if he was Buddhist when he committed his sexual assaults and other crimes that got him in prison.
That's good.
Okay, but now he's Buddhist.
I think they should feed all the inmates a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
Why should they get meat?
That's a good point. That wouldn't go very far.
I know.
In Jerusalem and in Israel, related to the upcoming holiday, the Yom Kippur holiday, there's this ritual of taking the chicken and spinning it above your head. Kaparot, it is called. So the animal,
a live chicken, they swing it above their head.
Above your head as a method of atonement. We've talked about this also.
We have talked about this. I really thought it was fading, though. I really thought only certain segments of the Jewish population.
Yeah, we talked about it in the context of certain areas. I think in Brooklyn, New York, where you've got certain Orthodox communities, but this is in Israel. It's still going on, and so there's this one animal rights organization. They've launched a petition called "Atone in Money, Not in Chickens," and they've got a website, and they are going after it in Israel.
Good for them.
Still happening.
Good for them. It is really unnecessary.
And where's the respect toward animals?
I know.
Okay, that is pretty crazy. And in California, finally, Jerry Brown actually signs another animal welfare law on the books, the banning of sale of animals at flea markets and swap meets.
Okay.
I would have thought that would have been covered by the current laws, but I guess that was a loophole.
Yeah.
So Jerry Brown, looking for something useful to do.
Found one thing.
Found something. So
good.
Congratulations, Jerry.
Okay, Jerry Brown. Thank you for listening to Animals Today. This is Dr. Lori Kirshner encouraging you to nurture your love and compassion for the only other beings sharing our planet, the animals.
The opinions you hear on the Business Talk Radio Network are those of the host, callers, and guests, and not necessarily those of this station, Business Talk Radio Network, its management, or advertisers. The information on the Business Talk Radio Network does not constitute a recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or securities. Investing involves risks, so please consult a professional before investing. If you have any questions or comments about the Business Talk Radio Network, contact us at 203-323-7300 or at our website, businesstalkradio.net.
USA Radio News, I'm Ron Allen. President Obama disclosed in a television interview broadcast Sunday that he had exchanged letters with new Iranian President Hassan Rouhani and said diplomacy on Syria, backed up by a military threat, is a potential model for negotiations on Tehran's nuclear ambitions. Obama and Rouhani will speak at the UN General Assembly next week on the same day. A White House spokesperson said there are currently no plans for them to meet, at the United Nations. Colorado officials warned on Sunday that the death toll from the week's severe flooding could rise as it was confirmed that a second person was missing and presumed dead, in addition to the 4 deaths previously verified. The 80-year-old woman had been at home with an injury when the building in which she lived was destroyed. 500 people are still unaccounted for in 2 flooded counties in Colorado.
Granite Law is a law firm with partners in each state we do business. Our initial consultation is free, but there will be a cost to retain the firm. Attention homeowners. The Obama administration is pressuring lenders to do more to prevent foreclosure with its home affordability and stability plan. If you own a home and you're having trouble making your payments or facing foreclosure, you need to call Granite Law's Mortgage Helpline today at 800-540-8429. A loan modification program can stop foreclosure proceedings, forgive late payments and penalties, take your adjustable rate mortgage to a fixed rate, and even reduce your mortgage payments to as low as 2%.
I seriously started to believe that we might end up on the street with our 2 kids. So we called Granite Law, and they helped us get our past due payments forgiven. And we got a lower interest rate. And now we have a payment we can afford.
If you're having trouble making your mortgage payment, you need to call 800-540-8429 today. Again, that's 800-540-8429. You don't need equity or good credit. You just need to call 800-540-8429.
French President François Hollande called on Sunday for a UN resolution on Syria, backed by the threat of punitive action to be voted on by the end of the week. President Hollande called the Russian-U.S. deal this weekend on removing Syria's chemical weapons an important step toward a possible political solution to the Syrian civil war. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry assured Israel Sunday the U.S.-Russian deal to remove Syria's chemical weapons would be effective, addressing concern that a lack of resolve would embolden Iran in its nuclear drive. Kerry briefed Prime Minister Netanyahu on what he called the most far-reaching chemical weapons removal ever, after the Israeli leader said the deal would be judged on whether it achieved the arsenal's complete destruction. President Obama said today he will not trade cuts to Obamacare in exchange for an increase in the nation's borrowing limit. For the latest news and analysis, log on to irnusanews.com.
You know those commercials that have been on for years and years about Andy Willoughby's 3-step plan home business system? You know, the hi, how in the world are you anyway guy? Took me almost 10 years to call. I finally did, just out of curiosity. I was really surprised. This is a business I can make a real income with. And the best part, I don't have to talk my family and friends into doing anything. It's that easy. Call 800-480-2102 or online at 3stepusa.com.
Lawrence Summers, a former top economic aide to President Obama and a Treasury Secretary under President Bill Clinton, has withdrawn from consideration to succeed Ben Bernanke as Federal Reserve Chairman. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that today, Sunday. Summers said, "I have reluctantly concluded any possible confirmation process for me would be acrimonious and not serve the interest of the Federal Reserve." An unarmed man who was shot dead after running toward police officers in Charlotte, North Carolina, might have just been trying to get help after crashing his car. A woman called 911 after the man began knocking insistently on her front door in a residential neighborhood in Charlotte about 2:30 a.m. on Saturday. The woman called police, and when they arrived, they found the man a short distance from the woman's house. As soon as the officers got out of their cars, the man began running toward them. One officer unsuccessfully fired a taser at the man. He kept coming. Another officer shot him and killed him. A police department statement said the investigation has shown the officer did not have a lawful right to discharge his weapon during this encounter. 2 New Jersey beach towns will get $15 million in state aid to repair damage from a boardwalk fire that devastated the resorts that had to rebuild after Superstorm Sandy, according to Governor Chris Christie. The fast-moving fire swept across the Seaside Park and Seaside Heights Boardwalk on Thursday. With IRN USA Radio News, I'm Ron Allen.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS that you can't pay? Call now for immediate help. 866-657-8517. At Community Tax Relief, we help consumers like you. If you take on the IRS alone, you could be facing levies, liens, even wage garnishments, personal or business tax issues. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, they will aggressively come after you. Protect yourself and your family today from what the IRS can do to you. Call now. 866-657-8517. They can freeze your bank account, even garnish your wages. Our expert team of tax professionals can solve your tax problems once and for all. Call now for a free 5-minute tax debt analysis. 866-657-8517. 866-657-8517. 866-657-8517.
Come fly with me, let's fly away.
Welcome to Travel with Stephanie Abrams.
I am delighted to have you with us today because we really are going to be bouncing around a bit. Actually, what I want to do today, with your kind permission and your passport in hand, we're going to go off and talk with some folks that I met at Milwaukee Irish Fest in August. It's just about a month ago now, and we've been saving these two interviews to kick off the launch of Tourism Ireland's Smart Season Travel. That alone, I think, by the way, is brilliant, because Smart Season Travel in every destination has a smart season. In Ireland, Smart Season Travel is October through March, maybe the beginning of April, when you get the best airfares, when there are fewer people traveling because people who have children in school sometimes have a difficult time getting away unless they're going during holiday periods. And I have to tell you, if you have children in school and you want to do something different for Thanksgiving, as I have done many years, many times when my kids were in elementary, junior high, high school, college, go for Thanksgiving to Ireland. There are other destinations. You go to the Caribbean for Thanksgiving, and it's the high rent district because that's just how it is. More people are going there. They're looking for the beach and the palm tree, and the prices are going to be higher than they would be in, well, if you talk about Caribbean, April through Thanksgiving, to Thanksgiving. But if you can get away from October through April, you're going to find, especially the beginning of April, you don't want to discount Easter, you're going to find fewer people traveling to Ireland and to other places in Europe as well. You're going to find better pricing. People have time for you. They're not busy because they're busy, but they're not as busy as they would be in the summer months. So, a wonderful way to look at the economic opportunities available for you to stretch your budget, stay longer, enjoy more, stay better. Oh, I love traveling richly, especially if you are looking at a trip to Ireland and you can get away during those months. That's the time to do it. So I had the privilege of meeting and interviewing Michael Ring, and he is the Minister of Tourism and Sports for Ireland, and what a charming gentleman he is. But there seems to be a correlation between Irish and charming. It just comes naturally. But I want you to hear that because it's really a very enjoyable interview, and I know you're going to get a lot out of that. And Dr. Tim Campbell, a very good friend who's director of the St. Patrick Center, also caught up with me in Milwaukee, and we were at the Pfister Hotel. And he came over so we could sit down and chat about what's going on. And we particularly focused in on this whole subject of smart season travel for the smart traveler. It's wonderful if you can do that. And we generally go to Ireland sometimes in October. But the last 2 years, we've gone in December and come back in January. And then we tend to go over around St. Patrick's Day again and spend some time in March. And there are people that have said things to me about, weather and this and that. may I tell you, I think we have the market cornered on weather in Berkshire County in the northwestern corner of Massachusetts, where, yes, we know about cold and snow and such. But I've been in Ireland in February, and the tulips are already coming up. By March, the tulips are up, the daffodils are up. All those spring flowers are sprouting out of the ground. It's a much more temperate climate than we have here. And later today, we're going off to Colorado. Happily, we're going to be up on the mountainsides talking about not only Ski Colorado and Ski Breckenridge, but also about what there is to do the other months of the year when the ski season is behind us. And I just want to mention that our thoughts and prayers are with all of those who are in the lowlands areas of Colorado that have been struggling this past week with floods. But we're going to be talking about mountainside. So we'll stay dry during this conversation as long as we don't think about too much snow. And then later today, we're going to be, I've got some really good insider tips about how to make sure that what you think you're paying for your car rental is really what you're going to pay for your car rental, and that you don't get sideswiped with unexpected fees related to gasoline, GPS systems, tolls that are going to be unexpected maybe, so you can plan for it. And then off to visit Salem, Massachusetts, because I've got a surprise for you there as well. Without further ado, let's talk to Michael Ring. Lucky me to have with me here at Irish Fest an opportunity to interface with, sit down with, talk with, and share with you an interview with Michael Ring. He is a member of government for Ireland. He is Minister of State for Tourism and Sport, and we're going to jump right into an interview with him right after this. Portions of today's show brought to you by Lufthansa German Airlines, serving 221 destinations in 84 countries from 21 North American gateways. Visit Lufthansa.com. Lufthansa, non-stop you. I have to tell you that I am thrilled to be at Irish Fest because probably the next time I might get lucky enough to interface with Michael Ring, Minister of State for Tourism and Sport for Ireland, probably wouldn't be until fall if I got lucky enough to be in the same place he was at the same time. And this is one of the joys of going to Irish Fest, the largest Irish festival in the world, a place where you can dip into the well and renew the spirit of all things Irish, and hopefully it will motivate you to do the real thing, like get on a plane, and there are so many more flights going into Ireland. I am thrilled that you were able to make time, because I know your schedule is insane while you're here, Michael.
Well, that's true, but I'm delighted to be here in Milwaukee. I have to say that I'm really enjoying myself. I met lovely people, and I have to compliment everybody that was involved in the fest itself. And I take this opportunity now, first of all, to compliment the 4,000 volunteers, the people that work so hard for their community, for their country. Sometimes the American government and the Irish government don't actually appreciate the work and the commitment and the volunteerism that people give for their communities, for their country. And I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody that's involved, to their president, Donna, who has worked so hard, Colleen and everybody else. They have put a major effort into this. They have worked so hard over the last number of years, and they have built this up to be an international festival. And today we're here at an international festival, and to see the crowds and to see everybody happy. And I was delighted, really delighted, because we have this kind of weather in Ireland every year, to bring this beautiful weather from Ireland with me.
Well, I happen to know for a fact that when we were in Ireland arriving just last month, and it's just a month ago, it was July 15, we arrived in Dublin, and we hot-footed it out to Nace to go to Killashee House, and then from County Wicklow, Wexford, and headed over to Limerick, and then out to the West Coast, where I always feel most at home. It's funny because we were away in Ireland. We left on the 25th of July, flew with our good friends at Lufthansa to Frankfurt, And for the 10 days we were in Ireland, we had 9 spectacular, I call it San Diego weather. When the weather is perfect and the sun is shining, and who would believe it?
Well, you know something, you're quite correct, Ray. It was the best summer that we had in many, many,
That's
many
amazing.
years. And you're right, it put everybody in very good form. The weather was fabulous, and if we could guarantee, about 12 weeks of weather every year, we wouldn't be able to keep the people out of Ireland. But I'll say that people don't come to Ireland for the weather. They come for the natural beauty that's there. They come for the greenery. They come to see what we have on offer. And I have to say that, that this summer was extra special because we got very good weather.
Michael, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break. Come right back. This is Stephanie Abrams. Don't leave me.
Lufthansa German Airlines non-stop service from 21 North American gateways to their hubs in Germany? How about this? You can fly to Munich or Frankfurt non-stop. Visit, do business, add a holiday onto your business trip, and visit the world. Here are just some of the airports you can fly non-stop to Europe with Lufthansa. Which one works best for you? Atlanta, Boston, Charlotte, Chicago, Denver, Detroit, Houston, Los Angeles, Miami, New York's JFK Airport, Newark's Liberty Airport, Orlando, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Seattle, or Washington, D.C. And Lufthansa is now flying the world's largest aircraft, the Airbus A380. Fly A380 daily service on Lufthansa to Germany from and to New York, Houston, Miami, and San Francisco. Lufthansa, recently voted by Fortune as one of the 5 most admired airlines in the world. Start planning your trip today. Visit Lufthansa.com. Lufthansa. Non-stop you.
Life is a wild ride, but even that couldn't prepare you for this. You're on your 9th wild ride, the Carnival Twist and Whirl. Your granddaughter's wishes trumping your amusement park fears. And it's here, healthy enough to feel the joy over the terror that the question hits you. How did I get here? Was it just hard work or smart choices? Like choosing Rite Aid and exclusive benefits for seniors with Rite Aid's new Wellness 65 Plus program. You get free pharmacist consultations that include medication reviews, blood pressure screenings, and immunization checklists. Wellness 65 Plus also gives you points for every prescription, even Medicare, that earn you up to 20% off your Rite Aid purchases fast. All meant to keep you here. Now that you've actually gotten here. Here, being the best and bravest grandma in the whole wide world. Stop by and enroll free in Wellness 65 Plus at Rite Aid today. With us, it's personal. Certain limitations apply. See your Rite Aid store or RiteAid.com for details.
A classic pair that impresses at a moment's notice. Behold, tomato and basil sauce.
By Bertolli.
A vegetable so bold, an herb so...
Basil-y.
Bertolli tomato and basil. The sauce that brings the sauce.
Get ready, spaghetti.
Groceries, essentials, signature value.
The Everyday Collection by Target.
Attention roofing contractors and homeowners. The Home Depot is running a special on shingles from GAF, North America's largest roofing manufacturer. Buy a pallet or more of in-stock Timberline or Royal Sovereign shingles and get 15% off the everyday shelf price. Just visit your local Home Depot between September 5th and September 15th and save 15% on GAF Advanced Protection shingles, the preferred brand of professional contractors. GAF and the Home Depot, the best choice for roof systems and accessories.
Oh, the green and red Mayo, I can see it still. It's soft and craggy boglands, it's tall, majestic hills, where the ocean kisses Ireland, and the waves caressed shore. Oh, the feeling it came over me. Stay forevermore, forevermore.
Time for more travel talk, coast to coast. It's Travel with Stephanie Abrams.
Lucky me to have with me Michael Ring. He is a member of government for Ireland. He is Minister of State for Tourism and Sport. And we're going to jump right into an interview with him. And there's a kind of sensitivity about, well, we have to apologize for our weather. But may I tell you, I have been in France when it has poured for a week at a time. I've been in Germany. I've been in Spain. And don't believe it when they tell you the rain only falls in the plain. I certainly have been all over the UK, and it rains there too. And you wouldn't have the green grass and the beautiful flowers. Go to Jamaica. The only reason it's lush and green and gorgeous is that it rains there. I mean, without the rain. But the funny thing about it, we had 9 straight days of absolutely what one would describe as glorious touring weather. And it got a little boring. On the 10th day, we had a gray, misty Irish day, and I turned to my husband and I said, I missed this. There is a certain romance about misty, wispy clouds embracing the mountainsides. That kind of mist in the air that you never have to put moisturizer on again, ladies. You know, that just kisses your skin. And you walk into a place where they've got, in the dead of summer, a peat fire that smells delicious in the fireplace. You know, you miss that when the weather's just glorious all the time.
Well, Stephanie, thank you very much. I must say that you're quite correct. We probably do apologise too much for the weather, and people don't come to Ireland for the weather. If they go for the sun, they may go someplace else. If they want to come to Ireland, they come for different things. They come for the culture, they come for the people, they come for what we have to offer, and we have a lot of things to offer. We have great culture. We have, as you can see here today, we have great music. But look we have great activity sports over there now. We have people that can walk, cycle, run, whatever they want to do. If they want to swim or if they want to play golf, whatever they want is there for them now. And
half your title is sport.
Yeah.
Minister of State for Tourism and Sport. So I'm interested in focusing on two things. I'm interested in focusing on sport because there are a lot of people that think the only thing that's available for them in sport in Ireland is golfing. And while that is in abundance, and we won't take away from it at all, there is so much more. And the other thing I want to join that with is the October to end of March, beginning of April, smart travel, people, when airplanes are in there in abundance for a lift from the U.S. to Ireland, and the prices are better, and everything is better because the kids are back in school, and there's a whole element of people who aren't going to come over and crowd the place up.
Well, that's quite correct, and you're quite correct. We have the golf, but on top of the golf, like we have the windsurfing, we have now the new greenways where people can walk. In where I come from myself in the west of Ireland, from Mayo, we have the Greenway. It's a 42-kilometre old railway line from Westport to Newport, from Newport to Mulrenny, from Mulrenny to Achill. If you want to do, Stephanie, if you want to do the 42 kilometres, if you're fit enough, you can do that. If you want to do the bit from Westport to Newport, what will happen is you'll pick up your phone, you'll order your bike, and if you're not feeling up to completing it, you'll ring the guy again. He'll come back, he'll collect you, and he'll collect the bike. If you want to travel from Mulrenny to Achill, same thing. You can do whatever you think you're fit to do. If you want to run in a marathon, that's fine. If you want the gale force, we have people running up mountains. And I mean,
and I'll be the one on the roadside handing them a bottle of water as they pass by.
You're quite correct. Look, we have people out there, and we have the surfing, we have people swimming. We've got great activity holidays out there now, and that's what we're trying to target now here in particularly here in Chicago and in the northwest. We're trying to get younger people to come along. We have the activity holidays there for them as well. A lot of people now are going into activity holidays. They want to be walking.